Hi, it's me, Dora V here, and this one is Let's Ask the Tarot. This time it's about Minister Foss of Berserk. And why him, you're wondering? Well, it's because of all of Griffith's enemies or supposed enemies. Foss was one of the very few who were spared. And I can kind of see why. It has nothing to do with whether or not he had a daughter or anything, but it's likely because I'm trying to get rid of this keyboard. Go down, go away, disappear, go away, keyboard. Oh, there we go. Duh. Had this thing over a year and I forgot. But anyway, like, in my mind, Griffith viewed Foss as the most salvageable, and I think he was the only one who was spared. So whether or not Foss had a daughter, like, to me, it was irrelevant. It just helped as a leverage. But what was relevant is that Foss, I think, like, he was probably the only one who had no animosity toward Griffith. It's just he was doing what he felt was best for the kingdom, and that he was really only trying to help, and that is ultimately not particularly malicious. At least I don't think so. And that to me was why he was ultimately spared. And from what I gather, I mean, I'll be really honest with you, like, I only know the events, but I haven't actually seen any of it in its entirety. Sorry. I just know that Foss was roped into helping Griffith kill off the people trying to kill him. I know that. And Foss just knows things. Chop Titans, go away. Bye-bye. I'll pick up the items later. But I know that Foss just knows a lot. And I don't know how much the daughter knows. I think Eliza, I don't think she probably remembers much of anything. But I know that Guts and Griffith work together. I know that. I know that Foss becomes like this big fanboy later on. I guess because Foss is convinced that no, Griffith was not a bad person and wanted some positive changes, and maybe he's all for that. But I know that he does become quite an ally. It's just that he still knows what really happened. And I think at this point, Griffith doesn't really care. So I wonder, will Minister Foss end well? And I decided to just have him because I want to keep characters separated. Because I think with tarot, you only ask for an individual person and not necessarily for a group. But I'm still a baby at this, so anyway, let's begin. I chose the Alchemist spread because it looked cool, so. Also made the most sense, but you know, that's just me. This one. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oof. So, let's see. The past was the 7 of Wands. So in the past, like, defensiveness, basically. So yeah, obviously he's going to be a bit defensive. You know, like I said, like, when he advised Julius to try to have Griffith killed, he was like trying to help against who his master saw as a threat. You see, you can like read about how it compares to the other cards. Oh, passion can be damaging and dangerous. Ooh, knows. Let's see, it is worth noting that for a defensive character, he wears no armor, but he is positioned on the high ground from which it is easier to defend from. Oh, that's what he thought. Yeah, that bitch queen thought that too. So like I said, I know all about it, but I have yet to see it in full, so I still don't know the full context. Why am I doing this? Because I'm awesome. But I also know that, like, I know that they thought they'd be safe, that they thought they would be above Griffith, and even if that was true, well, he knocked them down, okay? Are they held back by attackers who are below the picture and out of sight trying to knock this man down? Or are they a defensive barrier which he has made in front of him as a makeshift fortification? Well, let's see. Well, I know that they were trying to take down Griffith, but it didn't exactly work out too well. So that's what Foss was trying to do, I mean, he was spared, but the rest of them weren't so tough. Let's see, yeah, it seems fairly accurate here. As with all sevens, the Seven of Wands advises planning and preparation before any action. Well, he tried to do that, and that didn't exactly, well, I guess you could say maybe it kind of did, because he no longer has to give advice to shitty people. So, he got away from them, something like that. The present is the Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, Ace of Coins. I think this one's a pretty decent card. Or is it? Let's see. The Ace of Pentacles is one such card that can inspire excitement at its appearance, supposedly promising a new, unexpected material endowment. Well, it's certainly the case of Falconia. Sometimes it does herald a gift or an unexpected windfall, but more often it signifies other aspects of an ace's symbology. Well, ace could mean like the best, it could mean that you're the first, it could be that a leadership role, it could be that you're alone. And that's not always a good thing. Yeah, we know about that, yeah, the winner. So I think, yeah, right now, he's on the winning team. Like, right now he is. It says, the Ace of Pentacles can herald a new material endeavor or project rather than simply receiving something unexpectedly. This can be both positive or negative. So, like, a new job or it could also be an unexpected expense. Oh, so this is one of those things that it seems nice. Like, yeah, you might get a new gift or a new thing, but it could also mean a new expensive problem. Like guts. Let's see. Perfect contentment, ecstasy, gold. But it could also be, it could be like great riches and great things, but it can also be bad. Like bad intelligence, bad information. So it could be that too. But right now, like, he thinks everything's fine. Well, why wouldn't he? And let's see. Immediate future influences. There are two of these. The 8 of Coins. And the 8 is usually like an executive number, like a power number. So the immediate future influences something powerful. Yeah, 8 is, now's the right time. Make your move, execute any plans you made in the 7. Well, if you had the 7 of Coins. So whatever he has planned, like the future influences that he will execute those plans. Yeah, it's a driven and ambitious card, which doesn't have time for the watery world of emotions, as these are an unnecessary distraction. Gee, I wonder what that influence is. It wouldn't be Griffith by any chance, would it? Because at this point, his emotions are deeply hidden. So yeah, that's definitely an influence right there. And creating wealth. Yeah. Like, we get that. Work, employment, commission, ambition. But reversed, it could also mean that it's all voided, as you can see here. So with this one, like, the future influences Griffith working to accumulate even more, because to this guy, too much is never enough. That's Griffith for you. I'm telling you, he wants to be the only god. Got that, people? And I know it, too. See what Skull Knight has to say about that. And then here's the second one. Oh, Temperance. Yeah, that's a good influence. What the hell's wrong with that? Like, that's a future influence. It is moderation, patience, self-control, frugality, and economy. It basically means that you have a lot of self-control and you're well balanced. Like, yeah, it means you get the mixture right, the balance and diplomacy. I guess that could be Charlotte. But it could also be Griffith too. And it says, even though Temperance has the same basic numerology as the Hierophant, the number 14 also symbolizes self-control, creating stability. So it's really internal control, and that's not a bad influence at all. And now the future. Wait, I should go to long-term future influence. Okay, this one's in the long-term. The 2 of Wands. Oh boy. Yeah, this one's not. Usually, like, the 2 of Wands, like, in my rather meager experience, it's basically, like, 2 ideas in conflict. Balance, diplomacy, cooperation. Yeah, of course it's vague. It's the tarot. That's the whole point, and you're supposed to interpret it, whatever. Like, so I feel like with the Two of Wands, it basically means where do you focus in a balance between two. Like, these two wands are like the main components of a sailing ship. The Ace of Wands is the mast from which the ship derives its power, but that power is useless without a rudder to steer the ship with. It's a balance, fairness, and tactfulness, so it seems innocent enough, but yeah, like, he's going to be doing a lot of diplomacy, it seems, or trying to. Let's see, the number 2 is not symbolic of a leader, but of a trusted advisor who can coach and lobby those who wield the power of 1, directing their energy and resources to everyone's advantage. So it's kind of like the man behind the man. So there's a good possibility that he will be the future influence, but maybe I got this confused with the Two of Swords, because I'm a doopy. But yeah, this does sound like Foss himself. You're kind of like you have to be a diplomat, basically. And let's see here, like, the meanings. It's like, between the alternative readings, there is no marriage possible. Oh, bummer. Well, he's not looking to get married. Who's he getting married to? Riches, fortune on one hand, but on the other, physical suffering, disease, chagrin, sadness, mortification. So really, like, it appears to be a good card. Yeah, be a trusted advisor, be tactful, and really that's what Foss is at this point. Like, he's an advisor trying to steer Charlotte and Griffith. But given how Griffith actually is, like, it could also lead to a lot of just chagrin and sadness. So it's a very, like, well-balanced kind of, like, you better navigate carefully. But that's a future influence, so he'll either be that influence or someone else will be. But either way, this one, you have to weigh things and navigate very carefully, because if you're not careful, it can lead to a lot of suffering, something like that. It's not the worst long-term influence, and here's the future. Oh, this sucks. I think this is one of the cards that tarot readers don't like very much. To put it really simply, well, tough fucking shit. You know, bad things happen. There's no use boo-hoo-hooing about it, so get over it. I guess it says right here, it's no use crying over spilled milk. And it symbolizes emotional loss, so unfortunately it looks like he will be dealing with loss, like probably his daughter or Charlotte or someone that he actually cares about on a personal level, but then would realize that there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, my guess is he probably figures out just what Griffith has become, and there's nothing you can do. What are you going to do? And then Guts, Casca, like, you factor those people, yeah, like, what are you going to do? Like, there's just nothing. It says, a character who is facing left is focused on past events, and as the spilled cups are on the left, this is a past emotional loss and not something about to happen or in the future, so he would have already suffered loss. In mourning, he shut himself off from others, but on the right, in the future, there are 2 upright cups. So, if he were to put the loss behind him and move on, he would see things differently and in a new way. So yes, he will suffer loss, it will be painful, but if he could manage to overcome that, then hope is not lost and he'll be okay. So yeah, like, this one's a very, like, ambivalent kind of card. It is a negative one, but it also signifies, like, some kind of hope for the future. So from what I can read, it says the 5 of Cups is a card of emotional loss, regret, melancholy, self-pity, or feeling blue. So, but it still has some good points, though. It's just, unfortunately, he has to be able to overcome that loss, or he's just going to wallow forever, but he probably won't. Because it can also, yeah, I see, in such a negative card as the 5 of Cups, these 2 full cups give hope, pointing to a brighter future. They represent something new to look forward to. The message here is to let the past go, accept what is, and move on, and embrace new emotional possibilities and partnerships. So, yeah, he will end bittersweet, with some emphasis on the bitter, but if he can just swallow that bitterness and shit it out, then he'll be okay. So it'll be very bittersweet. So the answer is he will most likely survive, but will not end that well. But there's still hope for his future, so it's not exactly bleak. So it sounds like pretty much all of Berserk. Just a bittersweet end, and then you just have to move past it. No use crying over spilled milk, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, so it's kind of not really, it's not the best of endings, but not the worst either, and I think that'll do. It's the best I can come up with, so goodbye.